This episode contains mature language and adult situations.
Listener discretion is advised.
Hello, my friend. And how is it that you stumbled into my caverns of the abyss? I am ancient. I am forever. And I have been chained down here for a millennia. I am the Shadow Dweller, here to keep you company until the abyss swallows you whole. I've been here for eons and collected stories. I will tell you a tale to pass the time. Short stories of horror, tiny tales of the creepy. I will assure you, by the end you'll be screaming with madness.
Where am I? How'd I get here? Oh, is somebody there? What's happening? Why the fuck am I chained up?
I hope you've been enjoying your stay in my caverns of the abyss. Morbid Morsals is a new chapter of terror. A short tale of madness to, let's just say, carry your tremendous suffering over to the longer, fuller episodes. So until then, my friends, I've got another poor, unfortunate soul to torture. My apologies if the chains are too tight. Wouldn't want you wandering around down here in the dark. You never know what you bump into. Or for that matter, what would bump into you.
Let me go.
This morbid morsel is called Red Eye.
The hustle and bustle of being a busy businessman can often leave one feeling disconnected from their personal life. This was especially true for Tom, a successful businessman who was always on the go, traveling for work, and often away from his family. His job consumed him, and he rarely had time to slow down and appreciate the little things in life. On one particular business trip, Tom found himself on a flight to his next destination. As usual, he was busy with work, typing away on his laptop and trying to catch up on emails before reaching his destination. The flight was long, and Tom was grateful for the chance to get some work done without any distractions. But fate had other plans for Tom on this flight. He found himself seated next to a stranger, a man who struck up a conversation with him. At first, Tom was annoyed by the interruption, but as the flight progressed, he found himself enjoying the small talk with the stranger. It was a refreshing change from his usual routine of work and isolation. As they chatted, Tom learned that the man next to him was an avid traveler and had been on countless flights over the years. He shared stories of his adventures, and Tom found himself captivated by his tales. But as their conversation came to an end, something happened that would change everything. The plane suddenly hit severe turbulence, causing panic and chaos among the passengers. The flight attendants rushed to their seats, and the pilot's voice crackled over the intercom. asking everyone to remain calm. But before anyone could react, there was a loud explosion, and the plane started to plummet towards the ground. Amidst the screams and chaos, Tom could feel himself being pulled out of his body. He saw his life flash before his eyes, before everything went black. When he opened his eyes again, he was no longer on the plane. He was in a dark void, surrounded by an eerie silence. Tom was confused and disoriented. He tried to move, but his body felt heavy and unresponsive. It was then that he noticed something strange. The flight attendants and passengers from his flight were also there, in the void with him. But they were all standing still, frozen in time. Unable to make sense of what was happening, Tom started to walk around. He saw himself lying on the ground, lifeless. And then it hit him. He was dead. But how? And why was he stuck in this strange place with everyone else from the plane? As he explored further, Tom realized that time was repeating itself. The plane would crash, and everyone would die, only for him to wake up back in the void, reliving the same moments over and over again. It was a never-ending cycle, and Tom was trapped in it. He tried to communicate with the others, but they were unresponsive, like ghosts trapped in their own personal hell. Tom was alone in this time loop, with no escape in sight. As days turned into weeks and months, Tom's sanity started to slip away. He begged for answers, for a way out of this nightmare, but no one could hear him. He was just a spectator in his own tragedy, forced to relive his death repeatedly. Tom's obsession with work had consumed him in life, and now it seemed to be haunting him even in death. He realized that his neglect of his personal life had led him to this fate, an eternity of loneliness and regret. But as time went on, Tom started to see things differently. He would watch the other passengers and reflect on their lives and regrets. He saw how they had all been consumed by their own personal demons, and how they had let those demons control them until their final moments. In death, Tom found a new perspective on life. He realized that it was never too late to make a change, to prioritize what truly mattered, and to appreciate the present moment, but it was too late for him. He was stuck in this never-ending flight, doomed to repeat the same mistakes for eternity. The cycle continued for what seemed like an eternity, until one day, something changed. A new passenger appeared on the plane, a young woman who seemed to be alive. She looked around, confused and scared, but her presence gave Tom a glimmer of hope. He knew he had to make her understand their situation, to warn her not to make the same mistakes they had. With all his might, Tom managed to communicate with her, and she listened. She promised to live her life differently, to cherish every moment, and not let work consume her. And just like that, the time loop was broken. Tom and the other passengers were finally able to move on from their never-ending flight and find peace in the afterlife. As for Tom, even in death, he had learned a valuable lesson: to never take life for granted and to always make time for what truly matters. The endless flight may have been a horror story for him, but in the end, it was a wake-up call and a chance for redemption.
What did you think about that terrifying tale?
What the hell do you want from me?
To enjoy enjoy your endless suffering and pain until there is nothing left of you and you are swallowed by the abyss.
No, stay back. As the caverns of the abyss takes you, I patiently await the next mortal that finds their way here to me. Your dark thoughts always lead you to me. So, my friends, until next time, I look forward to tasting your fear.
Hi, I'm Troy Bursch, creator and producer of the short horror story audio podcast, Into the Abyss. If you like what you're hearing so far, please consider leaving me a 5-star rating and review wherever you can. This helps get my show out there to listeners just like you. Also, like, subscribe, download, and hit the notification bell. That way you'll get a heads up every time a new episode drops. Thanks to everyone who listened so far, and I'll have my information in the show notes. Morbid Morsals, little bite-sized bits of horror to kind of carry you along the way until the longer episodes. Hope you liked it. Let me know what you think. Thanks. Follow me on Facebook or Instagram. Facebook is into_the_abyss_podcast. Instagram is into_the_abyss_podcast. If you'd like to support the show, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/theshadowdweller73. This is a one-time donation and will be greatly appreciated. Any donations that I receive will go directly to the show, better equipment, and to put out the best product out there for you guys to enjoy. So that's buymeacoffee.com/theshadowdweller73. And anything helps. Thanks, guys.
Funkadelic Fresh by DJ Trillim.